Today I'm going to be breaking down how you can use Queen Charge Hybrid here at Townhall 14 to 3-star any base. So here is the army composition that we are going to be using for this particular strategy, and of course the main focus on this one starting off is going to be that queen, coming in with the unicorn pet, the frozen arrow and the magic mirror. Now my recommendations are definitely to bring the unicorn and the frozen arrow if you have got it. The other piece of equipment is completely up to you, but as for the rest of the army, here it is, so let's jump in and we'll break it down. So the first thing we're going to be doing, of course, is coming in with that queen charge. And typically what we're looking to do is try to get, of course, as much value as we possibly can. So with that queen coming in from that bottom section of the base, what we're looking to try and identify here is probably going to be that eagle artillery, as well as the enemy clan castle troops. We're of course looking to try and take down enemy heroes on that path to taking down these enemy clan castle troops and eagle artillery, but we will just of course take whatever we can get. But the main focus, like I said, is going to be dealing with the enemy clan castle troops, as well as beginning to set up that funnel. So in this particular one, unfortunately we're not going to be able to get the eagle artillery. Instead we switch it out and deciding to take down that scatter shot instead. The single target inferno is actually going to be tanked for very nicely here by that skeleton spell, so keep an eye out for things like single target infernos of course, or even scatter shots themselves, just in case they lock onto your queen. Typically you're going to want to try and protect them up using a scatter shot just like we did there. And if we pause things up, you'll see we do have that siege barracks coming in combination with our barbarian king. They are going to be coming in from the opposite side of the base, so typically you're creating part of the funnel with that queen, then part of the funnel with the siege barracks and king. This is to create a clear path for your hogs and miners to follow into. Now we don't want to hold back when it comes to spell usage, so make sure you go ahead and protect up your hogs and miners pretty early on into the attack with that first heal spell. All the meanwhile, we have that queen who is now dealt with those clan castle troops. Of course, that is where you want to use your poison spell. We have the hogs and miners pushing through that town hall. Be very careful with your Grand Warden ability, because now that Eternal Tome, if it's not exactly where you need it to be, unfortunately your troops are going to die off. So try your best to make sure he is sticking with your main group of troops. If that is the case, then he will of course be able to protect them. But in this particular one, you'll see we do of course have all of these troops coming out on the back end. We actually end up having a furnace coming out of our siege barracks, which is a great addition. It just continues to add in that kind of back end firepower coming through from those little fire mites. But this one incredibly strong, bringing in a 3-star to kick off this strategy guide in style. And for that next replay we have a centralized town hall. So it's definitely going to be pretty difficult to get our queen in towards that town hall, but we are going to be opting to try and get her in towards that eagle artillery. Now be very careful when it comes to your healer deployment. You'll see in this one we were a little bit rash and premature with our healer deployment, and we actually end up losing one of our healers much quicker than we were looking for. The second one unfortunately ends up following Hog Riders, so we lose 2 healers way quicker than we were looking for. So mainly what you want to make sure you're doing when you're setting up something like a queen charge, take the time first of all to set up that funnel. You'll see we had the baby dragon of course coming in to help set up that funnel. We have a few wizards which could do the same, but don't be scared just to give it a few seconds. Take down those buildings, make sure your queen's set up, and then when you deploy down those healers, typically you're going to want to support them with those balloons first. Those balloons are going to go in, test for any Teslas like we had popping up there, as well as any of those black or red bombs. Make sure your healers are of course far enough away as well from any other troops that they may potentially lock onto, like those wizards or like those hogs and miners. You don't want them to go off your queen, you want them to stay on her for as long as possible. But we do still have 3 healers left up on our queen, which fingers crossed for this one should be enough. But you can see, yeah, we've already taken out a decent chunk of the base, but time is definitely ticking. Poison spell goes down on the painful troops in the clan castle, which of course are a killer when it comes to time. those ice golems. But don't be scared just to let your queen do her thing. Like I said, set up that funnel. It's very, very important that you get the value you're looking for from both your queen as well as your king and siege barracks. They come in from this left hand side. Again, I think we were maybe slightly too quick coming in with our hogs and miners. Could have taken a few extra seconds just to make sure that funnel was fully set, but now all of our troops are going to be pushing straight in towards that town hall. Now if you do have swag spells like we do here, we don't need that rage spell for our queen, so we can just transfer it over to our hybrid portion of this attack, using it there on the town hall itself just to boost our hogs and miners through. In comes the double tome, the eternal as well as the healing tome through from that grand warden, just helping to keep our troops alive as they progress through the core of the base. Now I may have actually contradicted myself there because I'm not 100% sure if the Grand Warden is coming in with the double tome. I will need to double check that, but he's definitely got the Eternal Tome, but I can't remember if it's the Healing Tome or if it's the Life Gem. But going to be pushing on through regardless. We have plenty of swag spells here left on the back end. The Royal Champion with those Electro Boots crushing through bases as always. And this one, of course, going to finish up another beautiful 3-star with those fire mounts coming all the way over from the furnace that of course did come out of that siege barracks. So coming in with that last attack, queen again going to be focusing in here on dealing with that eagle artillery, the enemy clan castle troops, and then whatever heroes we can get. You do need to be very, very careful now with the addition of the minion prince as an enemy hero, because he of course is an air-based hero, so your hogs, your miners, even as they push towards the back end, will not be able to target him. So you're going to need something that can target both ground and air troops or buildings, whatever it might be. So of course, whether that could be your Grand Warden, your Royal Champion, your Queen, Wizards even, but typically it's probably going to be your Queen. Now again, we're looking to try and push our Queen right in, deep into this base to try and deal with those enemy clan castle troops. However, in this particular one, that's not always going to be possible within the time restraints we have. Of course, we only get 3 minutes per attack, and we don't want to just spend 2.5 minutes of that queen charging, because then you're not going to have enough time on the back end of this one. But things do not always go to plan, and this is exactly what I was talking about when it comes to those healers. If you watch them right here, they've actually moved away from the queen and on to the miners, which is exactly what we don't want. We wanted them to stay on the queen, we wanted them to keep her alive for a good amount of time so she could get the value we needed. Now the second rule that I was speaking about, always deal with those clan castle troops, we again have gone against that rule. We're not dealing with the clan castle troops in advance, and if that was an electro dragon, super dragon, regular dragon, balloons, anything air that's coming out of there, your hogs, your miners probably would have been decimated. Because it was an ice golem, we ended up getting pretty lucky. We of course knew it was an ice golem coming into this attack. However, in clan wars, in regular attacks, you will not know what's coming out of that enemy clan castle, so you need to be prepared for every possibility. In case it's something that's going to crush your hogs and miners, you're going to want to make sure you're dealing with it with that queen charge. But regardless, we end up with those heroes swinging all through the back end with the help of those hogs and miners, and we finish off the video with a very nice 3-star. So hopefully this video did help you to learn how to use hybrid here at Townhall 14. If you did enjoy it and you want to learn more, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to us here at the Barracks. Make sure you check out both of our partners. Of course, links are down in the description below to Fortify and Phoenix Rising, two absolutely amazing communities that support all town halls, which is exactly what we're about here at the Barracks. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.